Well, I feel sorry for Jesus. That's how I feel. I don't know how much you know about Jesus, but I feel fucking bad for Jesus, man. I do. He had a hard life. I mean, the last day was particularly difficult, but if you look at pictures of him, he had to wear that thong, that fucking just dish rag yanked up his balls. Just, carrying his cross like, fuck, just a rash. Some people say you should live like Jesus. Who can live? He was insane. You can't live like that. He had a weird life. I'm reading about Jesus. I have this book about Jesus. I'm going to share it with you. Okay. This is a book about Jesus. Actually, only this much is about Jesus. Only that, just that part. The rest of it is just the Jews going like, and then we walked for 50 years in the desert, and we only had a little bit of oil. It was difficult. It's fucking verbose. The Julia just Jews. It just goes on and on. And then Jacob bought a goat, and Abraham lived to be 800. Yeah, I bet he fucking did too. The Jews in the early chapters are all like 800 years old. And then God was like, I can't with these fucking Jews for 800 years. Heart disease starts today. So that's them. And that's Jesus. Oh, this little part is Jesus. And the weird part is it's not all like, it's all the same story over and over again. They tell the same story about Jesus' life over again. First Matthew tells it. And then Mark is like, dude, that's not what, you're fucking drunk. Here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Hey, Paul, you weren't even here. Shut the fuck up. And I started reading it because I never read it. I was raised Catholic, but they don't encourage you to read the church. They don't. They don't want you to read this. You know, Jews read this shit in Hebrew. And Baptists sit down, they read together. But the Catholics, they want you to come in the building. They want you to come in and they tell you. And you're like, can I read it? They're like, yeah, I'll tell you what happened. You know, sorry, put the book down. But it's interesting because when you read the stories, you know, you think of them as lofty, kind of like, but some of them are just basic life in the Jesus life. Okay, here's one. This is when he turned water into wine. This is his first miracle. This is John chapter 2, okay? Okay, and on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the wedding. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, they have no wine here. And Jesus saith unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? Just life. Mary was a fucking alcoholic. He took her to a wedding, and there's no fucking wine, Jesus. What am I supposed to do here without wine? And he's like, Mom, don't. Anyway, you know the rest of the story is that Jesus, he's at the wedding, they had no wine. So Jesus went to the guy running the wedding, and he was like, look in the water barrel. Like that, like a close-up magician. Why don't you take a look? Maybe it's not the Red Queen. Go ahead, flip that card over. What do you think? Told him to look in the water barrel, and he looked, and it was wine. He had turned all their water into wine. Everybody rejoiced. Except the guy running the wedding was probably like, we did need some water. It's actually a bigger problem. I have a feeling a lot of his miracles were met with mixed. Like, oh, thanks. That's great, Jesus. Fuck. Like Lazarus. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. And Jesus comes to town and he says, Lazarus, rise. And Lazarus comes out of the tomb like, and Lazarus' wife is like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But so here's a story, though, I want to read to you. This story, I've never seen it in a Jesus movie. This story is not in any movies about Jesus. And it's not, I never, until I sat and read this, I never heard this story. Because it's weird. This is the story of Jesus cursing a fig tree. Does anybody by applause know of this story? Okay, that's just enough to make it clear. This is true. I mean, it's not, nothing's true in here. But I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't fucking know. What do I know? I wasn't there. I'm just trying to make it clear that I didn't make it up. They did. But anyway, all right, I don't know. Okay, here's the story. This is Mark chapter 11. It's when Mark went broke. Okay. And Jesus entered into Jerusalem, and when he had looked around about and seen all things, and the eventide was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12. See, Bethany was like a suburb of Jerusalem. So he went in Jerusalem. You know, you see all the shit downtown, but you don't stay downtown. You go to the Marriott by the airport. You know? That's what Bethany was. Okay? And on the morrow, when they come from Bethany, Jesus was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came to it, if haply he might find anything thereon. But when he came to the tree, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and saith unto the tree, No man shall eat fruit of thee hereafter and forever. And the disciples heard it. And in the morning when they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots and dead. And Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou dost cursest has withered away and died. And Jesus answered and saith unto them, Have faith in God. What the fuck kind of a Jesus story is that? Hey, Jesus, you killed a tree. That's right, motherfucker. What's the fucking point to this story? What is the moral? Jesus just killed a tree. He was hungry. He was fucking cranky. He's like, there's no fig. Fuck you, tree. You're fucking dead, you piece of shit. I wanted a fig. You're fucking dead. Watch this. And the tree's like, but the time of figs is not yet. It's just not yet. I need another week. You want fruit out of season? Go to Whole Foods, you fucking Jew. I didn't do anything. You can't act like that, man. You can't act like that. You walk around acting like that, folks will nail you to a cross. That's what they'll do. They will. You gotta fucking cool it, Jesus. He got a little, you know. That's really what happened. Got a little shitty. A little big, you know. He went to Jerusalem. It's a big town for a boy from Galilee. And he didn't just walk into Jerusalem. He walked in, and his friends were like, King of the Jews, y'all! King of the motherfucking Jews! The Jews didn't like that. The Jews were like, not my president, whatever, you know. So they nailed him to a cross. This is what they did. And this, the weirdest thing to me about Catholicism and all Christianity is this image. This image is the image of the biggest, most powerful religion, the cleanest religion. And it's a fucking dead guy with nails, just blood. And it's in every polite room in the world. Every nice, quiet place is a fucking Jesus. And the president and his wife, and they wear pearls, and then we always go to look at the fucking, it's just weird. Because it promotes nicely ideas like honor thy mother and thy father. Because they, it's just macabre. But I love it. I love the image. I love it. I was raised Catholic my whole life. I love this image. I stare at it. Every time I go by a church, if it's open, I go in because I want to see their Jesus. They all have a different Jesus. They're a little different. Some of them, he's really suffering. And some of them, he's just like, oh, well. I really got myself in a noodle this time, boy. Sometimes there's just a cross. Like, oh, fuck, where'd he go? Jesus got away. But they're all different. I was in a Korean church, and I saw a Korean Jesus. They had a Korean Jesus with the... Don't get mad. How else would I know? It was just what Korean Jesus. Ooh, whatever. Jesus looks different everywhere. Mostly Jesus has blonde hair and blue eyes, which we know he didn't have, but that's who won everything, so they get to draw him. The truth is Jesus was black, but you don't see that often. Black Jesus. Hey man, get me the fuck down from here. Whatever, all right. But everybody wants Jesus to look like them, so they draw him to look like them. That's why I don't like that he's always skinny. Jesus always rails. They're just fucking, I've been doing Pilates for months getting ready for this. It's not fair. You never see a fat Jesus. I never one time saw like just a fat Jesus. With like 10 nails in each hand. He might have been fat. We don't know. I'll tell you what Jesus was not, is Korean. There's no Koreans in Jerusalem in the year 1. But I was raised Catholic, and I ended up walking away from that because I didn't like it. You know why? Because they tell you you're going to hell. And they tell little kids that. You're 5 years old in the church with all its majesty and all the buildings and the clothes. They go up to a 5-year-old and they're like, oh, you're going to hell. Oh, yeah. You're going right to hell. And you're 5 and you're like, what did I do? And the church is like, you know what you did, you piece of shit. And you're going to full hell, too. There's no kids' hell, you understand? You're going right to the show. If you're 5 years old, you steal a crayon from your sister, and then you lie about it, you get hit by a truck, you're roommates with Hitler. There's no difference. There's no difference. They take you in a room, and they're pouring hot lead into Hitler's asshole. He's like, ah! No! And then you walk in there like, all right, step up, it's your turn. Hitler's like, oh, good luck, little fella. Poor Hitler, man. I mean, at this point, he's been down there for 75 years. He's probably nice now. Hitler's probably nice to newcomers in hell, you know. Hi, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, okay. I was so scared of hell when I was a kid. I remember when I found out that gay people go to hell, according to the church, and I got scared, because I'm not gay, but what if God thinks I'm gay? What if I come off a little queer to the Lord? What if he happens to glance at me when I hit my toe and I'm like, ow? He's like, oh, I know where you're going, you faggot. I mean, that's their thing. I don't believe that. God doesn't hate you because you're gay. God made you gay because he hates you. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There's no God.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. In this video, the one and only Louis C.K., the GOAT of comedy, does it again. Dismantling religion using nothing but jokes and brutal honesty. No sermons, no debates, just a mic, a Bible, and a masterclass in satire. The brilliance of this bit? He simply read the Bible. That's it. the one book that, ironically, might turn you atheist if you actually study it. But here's the thing. Louis C.K.'s irreverent take on faith isn't just about laughs. It's a call to think critically, to question the stories we've been told, to wrestle with our doubts, and to confront the mysteries of existence head-on. As for me, I remain unconvinced, but not uncurious. The divine may be elusive, but the questions it provokes are undeniably real. And if there is a God, perhaps it is in the asking, not the answering, that we come closest to whatever truth may be. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to liberate the mind, challenge the soul, and prove that religion is a joke. Please remember to like and subscribe.
When I was 10 years old, my parents got divorced, and my dad turned into a Jew. And, he converted to Judaism. He didn't turn into a Jew. It's not like my dad was like... He, converted to Judaism. And I had friends who were Jewish, and I knew that they had little clip dicks, little neat. And then I remembered my father's alligator claw of a penis. I really hate penises. That's really my problem with being gay. That's why I'm not gay. Men are fine. I'd like to have a boyfriend. That would be nice. I would. Every time I hear somebody say my boyfriend, I'm always like, I want a boyfriend. Why can't I have a boyfriend? I'd like to have a big, tall boyfriend. That's my boyfriend. I'm mad at my boyfriend. I get to wear his jacket. It's all big on me. I'm like, it's my boyfriend's jacket. I feel safe. I know I would like it. I would like to have a big dude in my life. Comes up behind me like this. I'm like, hi. Like, I know that would be nice. But in order to get all those parts, you have to have a fucking cock shoved up your asshole, like a hard dick ramming in your ass. Ah! Oh, fuck! Oh! I just wanted to wear your jacket! You're supposed to teach your kids right from wrong. I don't know, it's confusing, Some people raise their kids religiously, and that kind of covers it. They kind of go, all this, do that. I'm not raising my kids religiously because I don't feel like it. Just get up on a Sunday. Fuck that. Fuck that. Let your souls rot, kids. I don't care. I'm not getting... Daddy, who's Jesus? None of your business. Go back to bed. But my kids, they're living in the world, and there's a lot of religion in the world, so you do have to teach your kids, if you're not raising them religiously, you do have to teach them about religion, I always tell my kids the same thing. I tell them that there are many religions in the world, and they're all equal, but the Christians are the main one. That's what I tell them. The Christians won. They're the winners, so act accordingly. Congratulate Christians when you meet them, because they won the world. And it's true. It's true. We love to tell ourselves, like, every religion is exactly... No, they're not. The Christians won everything a long time ago. If you don't believe me, let me ask you a question. What year is it? Come on. What year is it according to the entire human race? And why? What year is it? Anybody, sir, just yell out the year. Thank you. 2016. No, it's 20. That's right. It's 2017. What is that? That's a number. It's not just any number. It must be a very important number, because we're counting to it in unison as a species. For thousands of years, we've been going 1, 2, 3. Come on, everybody. 4. And now, come on, Africa. 5, 6. What is this number? We're counting the days since what? Since there was ever people, or since the sun did a blah something? Not at all. It's been 2017 years since what? Anybody, yell it out. Yes, Christ! Christ! That's right. It's been 2017 years since Christ Jesus. We are counting the days since Jesus together. Which makes sense if you're Christian, but what the fuck are the rest of us doing? Jesus was here, Jesus was here, Jesus was here. Everybody, scientists, historians, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus plus 2, Jesus plus 3, Jesus plus 4. Jesus plus 2017 years, 4 months, and 3 days is when your license expires. How is that not a win for the Christians? How is that not a complete win? That's not a Monday off in October. That's there was no time before Jesus. And the whole world's going, okay, sure. And then somebody was like, what about the years before him? There were billions, I mean, infinity. Those go backwards. You want us to measure most of history backwards? To accommodate one religion? Uh-huh. All right, we'll do it. It's fine. We'll do it. The whole world. You ever watch New Year's Eve around the world? They always show you like how every country celebrates. It's kind of cool. The first, there's one little island. It's the first place that's actually the place that it's the year. It's a little island in the Pacific. I don't forget what it's called, but the people, they do a little ceremony for New Year's Eve every year. And they just wear grass. Because they don't even have sticks yet. They're in the grass age. They have no clocks, but they do a dance. 2017. And it goes around the world. Oh, it's 2017. Death to all Christians in 2017. The Jews are quietly keeping track. It's really 5,766, but that's for us. We're just, that's okay. We're just keeping track for when you snap out of it. It's all right. I'll write yours on my check. I don't want a problem. What about Chinese New Year? Yeah, what about Chinese New Year? All right. Next time you're doing your taxes, just write monkey where the year goes. Just put monkey. See what happens to your funds. No, it's 2017, year of our Lord. Jesus-y, a clock on the nose. And they made it up. That's the weirdest part, is they got to rename years that had already taken place. Because you know that's not what those years were. You know that, right? That the year 3 wasn't the year 3 during the year 3. Nobody was walking around back then. Hey, what year is it? It's 3. Yeah, but I'm 28. How can I be 28? There's only been 3. Oh, well, so you were born in BC 24, and there's a 0. Remember it went backwards? Oh, shit, that was stressful. I hated those years. What was that like? What year is it? 10. What year is it now? 9. What the fuck is gonna happen? My daughter's learning about Greek mythology, and she was asking me questions about it. She was like, Daddy, who's Achilles' mother? I said, I don't fucking know. Don't ask me that shit. I don't know who Achilles' mother is. Don't yell it out if you know it, please. It can't be amputees. Nobody cares what you know. She had a question about Achilles, and it was an interesting question, and I'll tell it to you. But first, the story of Achilles, real quick. Achilles was a baby. He was a Greek baby, and he didn't stay that way. But when he was a Greek baby, his mother, who was a goddess, took him into the river Styx, which is at Hades, the land of the dead, and she dipped him in the water of the river Styx because there was a magical quality to that water that it would make you impervious of any harm. You couldn't be hurt. It was like a shield, right? So she dipped him in that water to protect him. But she held him by the heel. That's the important detail. Held him by the heel, which is an awkward way to hold a baby. By the heel. Try holding a baby by the heel and dipping it in a river. You'll never see that baby again. That's how to get rid of a baby.
I lost the baby in the water. I was trying to wash him and he fell in the river. I'm sorry, Miss Achilles, I lost your baby. You told me to hold him by the heel. He's asleep.
Achilles' mother's Mexican nanny. It's a lesser-known character in the Iliad. Anyway, his mother, she was able to hold on, of course, because she was a goddess. She was the goddess of grip or whatever, I don't know. And she held on, and then he was protected, except on his heel. His heel was not protected. And so that's what we call your Achilles heel, your one vulnerable place. Everybody's got their Achilles heel. Achilles' Achilles heel was his heel. Like literally. Anyway, so my daughter, here was her question. She said, how come his mother didn't just dip him again? She could have just dipped him one more time with the other leg in there. Did she just like you're right there. Was there like a sign that says 1 dip per goddess? Did you ever color an Easter egg? It's not that complicated. You dip it, and then you hold it differently and dip it again. Smart kid. I was proud of her. But at the same time, I thought, who the fuck are you to judge this woman? It bothered me. Because here's what the story of Achilles teaches me, is that if you're a parent, it's never enough what you do for these motherfuckers. It's just never enough. It's still gonna be your fault. How much more do you want from a mother? She dipped her kid in magic water and protected 99% of his body. Is any of it up to him? He could have just wore a big shoe and be careful. But he goes out in sandals, fucking flip-flops, and a sword and fights the whole planet. I'm Achilles because my mother dipped me. Finally, somebody got him in the heel, and he's like, Mom! Thanks a lot, Mom! What's wrong, Achilles? My mom didn't dip my heel. She's so stupid, she ruined it. Fuck you, Achilles, you Greek dick. I hate the way people talk about their mothers. I was watching a football game one time, and this guy scored a bunch of shit, whatever, and they were excited. So they asked him about it afterwards. And the football player said, my mom died last year, but I know she was watching my game from heaven tonight. And I wanted to be there to say, leave your mother alone. How dare you? She's dead. I mean, when are you done with your fucking kids? When are you finished with your fucking kids? Even after you're dead, you still have to go to their fucking games and shit? Leave your mother alone. She did her job. She raised you and it killed her. I mean, let her enjoy heaven. Don't you want your mother to enjoy heaven? Isn't that what you want your mom to be, just in heaven? Whee! This poor woman, the angels are like, we're having an angel party. You want to come with us?
I can't. I gotta watch my son's games. He'll be very upset.
Okay, good. He can't fucking hear me. Why am I doing this? I just think when people die, it means they did their jobs, and you should forget them. That's what I think. Because it's unfair what we put on dead people. Are you watching over me? Yes, I'm watching all of it. You know, like when you see an old couple and they've been married for like 60 years. You know that kind of story? Everybody always loves that. The kind of people that always get applause based on the math of their lives. How long have you been married?
60 years.
Oh. Isn't that automatically wonderful? How do you know? You just know how long it's been.
For 60 years, every morning he tells me I'm a piece of shit.
Well, let's just say this is a happy couple, okay? They love each other. They've been married for 60 years. That's longer than most people really want to be alive, and they've been together that long. And now they're just an old couple, and they just walk together. You know when you see two people? And it's kind of lovely. They don't need anybody else. It's just the two of them. This is both of them. They just walk. They always walk somewhere nobody walks there. There's trash. Trucks go. He's wearing a suit that is not a color. She's wearing a dress that's like a triangle, like a kid drew it. It's just fucking a dress with fruit on it. Nobody cares. And they just walk every day.
It's cold. Yeah, it's cold. You want to go to the store and get a cracker? Yeah, let's get a cracker at the store. Yeah, buy a cracker. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
And then one day, usually he dies first. They're walking, and he goes, ah. Ah. And she says, Richard! Ah. Ah. Richard! Ah. And he dies. So now it's just her. Just Rose. And she's alone. Now she just stands in their house. Once in a while, somebody goes to get Rose because there's a wedding. Come on, Rose. Nadine's getting married. Nadine, it doesn't matter. Just fucking come on. Come on. Fuck, come on. Fuck. Just want to push her from. She lives 10 more years. 10 years after Richard dies. And then 10 years later, now she's laying in a bed. She's dying. Somebody's there with her on their phone. So Rose is dying, and she says, well, at least now I get to be with my Richard forever. Where did she get that idea? Where did that come from? I've looked it up. No religion teaches that when you die, you get to ruin heaven for your dead spouse. Why is that fair? Who gets... Richard's been dead for 10 years. He's been in heaven for 10 years. And somebody comes up to him, hey, your wife is coming. What? Excuse me, what did you just walk up and say to me just now? Yeah, Rose just died. She'll be here in about 20 minutes. They just gotta hose her down and tape the wings on. And then you're gonna be together forever. Wait a minute. Fuck. You said this was heaven. Why is this? I have a girlfriend here now. I don't wanna fucking... She's the love of your life. She's not the love of my death, motherfucker.
You're watching another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. This Louis C.K. set isn't just a masterclass of a stand-up comedy genius. It's a skeptic's wake-up call, wrapped in a middle-aged rant. Part cosmic eye-roll, part philosophical drive-by. Louis isn't merely teasing religion. He's doing a soft-spoken demolition with the energy of a man who misplaced his faith next to his car keys. To get things started, he goes straight for the big one, Christians' fake persecution complex. He doesn't just poke it, he vaporizes it. Because let's be honest, Christians didn't just win the culture war, they turned the scoreboard into the calendar. They didn't merely spread the world's largest death cult, they convinced the entire planet to timestamp reality based on their dead guy's birthday. If your faith becomes the world's clock, congratulations, you're not oppressed, you're running the timeline. Then he shifts gears and barrels into the afterlife myths. No helmet, no seatbelt, treating them like customer service horror stories from a cosmic HR department. All those comforting cliches, eternal spouses, heavenly surveillance, dead relatives cheering you on like celestial soccer moms, he flips them inside out with a shrug, leaving behind what they've always been, coping mechanisms with propaganda teams. Take the whole, your dead mom is watching your big game from heaven bit, mashed together with the, your husband is having the time of his afterlife in paradise until you show up bit. It's one sweeping existential facepalm. In Louis' universe, the dead aren't angels, they're hostages. Too polite to skip your events, too trapped to enjoy the afterlife, and too exhausted to file an official complaint with management. It turns heaven from a divine reward into the world's most passive-aggressive open office plan. So yeah, Louis isn't just being funny. He's doing the Stranger Bible thing, tossing sacred assumptions into the absurdity blender and hitting liquefy until only the questions remain. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to liberate the mind, challenge certainty, and remind us that sometimes religion really is a joke. Please remember to like and subscribe.
I'll do all the announcements that you would have heard. Please turn off your cell phones. I mean, you can take pictures, but turn off the flash. That's stupid because it's not. You know, like when you're watching the World Series and there's all like that, like your flash is lighting Yankee Stadium. Just leave your flash off. If you have, don't yell out during the show. If you have something you want to say to me, totally, this is what we do. We write it down. And then you go outside in the lobby, and then you go home and you kill yourself. Because that's selfish. This is a rhetorical performance. It's got nothing to do with you. Don't text or Twitter during the show. Just live your life. Don't keep telling people what you're doing. Just, because also, it lights up your big dumb face. It lights it up. I see this beautiful sea of darkness with then just one guy. So don't do that. What else? No Jews. I think they said that earlier, but they told me I have to say it. Jews aren't allowed. If you're Jewish, this is a good time to go. If you see somebody kind of Jewy looking, then please tell an usher, and they will. Sir, come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. So you can have confidence, but you got to be a little, you know. I mean, there's things that people did in history that I wouldn't have done, for sure. Like, I wouldn't have made an Auschwitz. I wouldn't have done that. What am I going to do with an Auschwitz? Yeah, Auschwitz is not one of those where you're like, it was the times, you know? It was a horrible thing, obviously. Auschwitz, horrible. They killed people. They killed children. They killed little children in Auschwitz who could have grown up and moved to Brooklyn and hated black people, and they didn't get to do that. It's terrible. I know. I had a friend who's a comedian in England, and he made a joke about Auschwitz, and he got in a lot of trouble. There was a big shitstorm, and at one point, Auschwitz tweeted about his joke. It's true. It's an Auschwitz with a blue check. So it was like, oh, cool, it's really them, you know. And they tweeted like, that's not funny. Why is the death camp tweeting? Who's running the social accounts at Auschwitz? I got a summer job at Auschwitz. I'm running their Twitter. A lot of what they teach kids is just to make them polite people, you know? Like they teach them that there's words you shouldn't use. There's bad words. Don't use the bad words. I can't teach my kids that because I do this for a living. But I didn't want my kids to be, you know, assholes. So I used to tell them, like, okay, look, there's no bad words. There's no bad words. All words are good, bad, nothing. But there's some people that get upset when you use certain words. So if you're going to use those words, look at the person first and try to guess if they're that kind of person. Sometimes you can offend somebody when you weren't even trying to. Like there's certain phrases, certain statements that if you're going to say them, you should say them without stopping in the middle. Certain things, if you're going to say them, don't clear your throat in the middle. Okay? You don't want to say things like, there are too many black people suffering from discrimination. So, we need to stop the Jews from feeling excluded. I once fucked a baby, and then I fucked him again. So you want to get through that one. Otherwise, people get the wrong idea. They'll think you only fucked that baby once. Okay, this is a book about Jesus. Actually, the whole book is not about Jesus. Only this much. Only that much is about Jesus. The rest of it is the Jews going like, and then we walked for 50 years in the desert, and we only had a little bit of oil. It was difficult. It's verbose. It's a lot. Look at that. It's just Jews just fucking, and then Jacob bought a goat, and he had Isaac, who had Ruth, who had Abraham. I mean, and Abraham lived to be 800. Yeah, I bet he did, too. The Jews in the early chapters are all like 800, and then God was like, I can't with these fucking Jews for 800 years. I can't. We're starting heart disease right now. Cut them down to 10%. There's a few missteps in the Jesus story, I'm telling you. Like when he went to Jerusalem for the first time, his friends put him on a donkey and they took him through town, through Jerusalem, and they're like, King of the Jews, y'all. King of the motherfucking Jews. And the Jews did not like that. The Jews were like, not my president, whatever. I was talking to my friend the other day about Jesus, Christ. And I don't remember why, but I happened to mention that Jesus was Jewish. And my friend said, he was? And I said, yeah, Jesus was Jewish. And he said, I don't think so. And I said, that's okay. It already all happened. Doesn't matter what you think. But he argued with me. He was like, dude, Jesus couldn't be Jewish. Think about it. I'm like, you fucking think about it, you idiot. What was he then? What was he, Presbyterian? What was he? Catholic? Okay, Jesus was Catholic. And he had a gold chain with a cross. And when they nailed him up, he was like, oh, that's why we have those. That finally makes sense. I didn't even know. Oh, fuck, that's me. I'm the little guy on it. I'm curious about God. I'm curious about his life. I'm curious about God's existence. What's that like to be God? You know, we don't know anything about him. I think one reason people don't believe in him because we don't have a sense of God, because it doesn't say anything anymore. He used to talk all the time. He used to go up to people on the street. Hey, tell everybody does that. Writing on the rocks. Look at that. Do it. And it was confused. Everybody's like, oh, okay, trying to figure it out. And then for 2,000 years, he just, nothing, says nothing. And everybody's fighting. He could clear a lot of shit up with a 5-minute press conference. If God spoke for 5 minutes, he'd solve a lot of problems. He'd just show up, all right, everybody, yeah, I'm the Lord, okay. Real quick. First of all, Mormons just, no. What is that? Just go home. Also, Jews with the little things, what the fuck? I don't know. Put a hat on or don't. Nobody gives a shit. This is weird. I hate these. I hate them. I send everybody with one of those to hell every day. I do. It's just my thing. Just so you know. Do what you want, but that's where you're going. Now you know. Also, I don't care who you fuck. I don't care. It never mattered. It was Adam and Eve and Steve. They were all fucking each other. I was jerking off to it. It was a great time. So it's not an issue for me. I don't know why it is for you. Have fun and use all the holes. That's what I say. Also, you're supposed to fuck the animals. That's why I made them. Why are you not fucking the animals? There's only like 30,000 of you fucking the animals. What are the rest of you? You're eating them? That's disgusting. What is wrong with you? How could you eat a perfectly fuckable pig? Saith the Lord. I hate New York. I really do. I used to love New York, but I hate it now. I'd rather be in Auschwitz than New York City. Honestly, I would. I mean Auschwitz now. I mean today Auschwitz, not back when it was open. I mean now. It's nice now. There's a gift shop. People go there on purpose. They buy tickets. I think that's weird. That people buy tickets to Auschwitz. That's weird. If you could have told those people back then, people are going to buy tickets to come here. Yeah, wrap your head around that. Jew. That's, all right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, never again, I promise. That's what we say about the Holocaust, never again, because they killed 6 million Jews. If they only killed like 10,000, would it be like, okay, 2 more times? And then taper off, because it's a little much. I'll tell you, I went to Auschwitz. This is a true story. I actually did go to Auschwitz because I was doing shows in Poland, because I had to go to Poland to do shows. So I was in Krakow. I was in Krakow, so I went to the camp. And I went there because of a very personal reason, because I had family there. I had a lot of family there. 44 members of my family were in Auschwitz during World War II. I mean, they were guards. They worked there. No. They were Jews and they died. It's okay. Don't be offended. It's true. We lost the whole family there. Everybody, because we were Hungarian Jews. My grandfather, on my father's side, he's the only one who made it. The rest of them, all 44 of them, went to Auschwitz, which I think they really regretted. But that's what happened, because the Hungarians sent all their Jews to. They weren't even occupied Hungary. They're just like, yeah, take our Jews. And they sent my whole family there, and they all died in Auschwitz, except for him. My grandfather's the only one who made it. because he got the fuck out of there before it started. In the late 20s, he fucking smelled that shit, and he got the fuck out. And he went to Mexico. He migrated to Mexico. And we found his immigration card. My uncle and I did the family history, and we found it. It says nationality, Hungarian, and it says religion, Catholic. And there's a picture of him like... like, fuck it, they don't know what a Jew looks like in Mexico. That's where I'm going. And that's why I'm alive, because he made that choice. It's also why I'm not Jewish. He was like, Jew schmoo, we're not fucking Jewish. Somos católicas. That was my abuelito. Became a fucking Mexican fast. That's what happened. That's how he made it. He's a fascinating guy, my grandfather. His name was Geza. That was his name. And he had a brother named Geza. It's weird, but I looked it up, and here's what happened. His parents had a baby, and they named it Geza, and it died. The baby died. So they had another one, and they just said, fuck it, Geza, let's just do it again. Because that's what it was like. The babies died. It was no big deal back then. It was just like, yeah, that was a shitty baby. Let's do another one. Why'd your baby die? Because it sucked. Why does any baby die? At least we found out quick. Fuck it. This one's good. That's what it was like forever until recently. The human race was all the good babies, and the shitty ones, that's just the way it worked. It's not like that now. Now we save every baby. The shittier the baby, the bigger the effort. Because we love it. We love saving the shitty babies. There's always a documentary. Look at this baby. He's a fucking mess. Do you see that shit? We're going to save it. Make it live. And the baby's like, please don't. But we don't like when babies die. We get more upset when a baby dies. Who knows this baby? Did you hear about Jeff? No, he was here for one day. Nobody met him. And then if you die when you're old, nobody gives a shit. They're like, he was here long enough. Fuck him. You ever tell somebody, like your grandmother died? My grandmother died. You're like, I'm so sorry. How old was she? She was 98. Oh. So why'd you even tell me?
You're watching another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. In this compilation, Louis C.K. takes aim at the Jews. But he's not targeting the people. He's dissecting their story, the millennia-old narrative of a chosen people, a divine covenant, and a history written in trauma. He uses comedy as his scalpel. It's the only tool sharp enough and brutal enough to cut through the sacred myths and get to the core of the thing, the staggering, often absurd, logic of the belief system built around them. He gets that license from his own Jewish bloodline. 44 members of his family were in Auschwitz. His grandfather survived by escaping to Mexico and listing his religion as Catholic. This isn't theoretical, it's family history. He dismantles the sacred narrative. The Christian Bible? Mostly about Jews wandering, fucking, listing names, a sliver about Jesus. Early Jews lived to be 800 until God cut them down to 10%. Right. The phrase never again, he pushes it. If they only killed 10,000, would it be okay 2 more times? He goes after Christianity's fake Jewish roots. Jesus paraded as King of the Jews? Louis notes the obvious backlash, and the Jews did not like that. He mocks his friend's denial. I don't think so, when told Jesus was Jewish. In every bit. Jews are the characters in a theological story he finds indefensible. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to liberate the mind, challenge belief, and remind us that sometimes religion really is a joke. Please remember to like and subscribe.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, thank you. You guys are great. Thank you. This is what I talk like now, just so you know. I'm gonna do the whole show like this. A very offensive stereotype of a Mexican. This is a Mexican at the border. Just let me in! Jesus! You guys are dicks in there anyway. Fuck you, America. My father, this is true, my father is Mexican. And, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Anyway, no, but I won't, it's all right. Good for you. Naughty, naughty. All right. My father's Mexican. My mother is dead. So I'm half dead on my father's side. On my mother's side, my father's Mexican. A lot of people don't believe I'm Mexican. And when I tell them I'm Mexican, they say stupid things like, well, how can you look like that? What do you mean, how? Like I'm trying not to look Mexican? Like, no, look, see? I'm not Mexican. Then I get home like, Señor. So yeah, I got a dog, my kids, and I just sit around and watch YouTube a lot. That's my favorite pastime. I was watching YouTube today. I was watching one of the ads that comes on before the video. I don't skip those. I think that's rude. It is. It's mean. Somebody worked hard on that ad. They trained a cheetah to run alongside a Jeep Cherokee. And you're at home like, 3, 2, 1, fuck off. It's fucking mean. What if you made something, dick? Anyway, the ad was a PSA. It was an anti-smoking message. It was a Puerto Rican man with a hole in his throat. He was like,
My father smoked. And my mother smoked. I wish I never smoked in my life. Please don't smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are very, very bad for you.
First thought I had was, why does he still have an accent? It's coming out. Feels like if you bypass the mouth, you shouldn't have an accent anymore. Does the machine have a setting for Puerto Rican? Is that just how air sounds coming out of this guy? Does he fart with an accent?
Señor, I'm farting.
My father's Mexican. It's true. My father is Mexican. I'm not. I'm not Mexican. My father is. Just because some Mexican fucked my mom for years doesn't make me a Mexican. Just makes her a whore. But anyway, my father had a Mexican, Catholic, uncut, raw, organic, local, fucking free-range Mexican dick. It was just so basic. It was like a farmer's market yam just sticking out like a tamarindo pod. And the pee would spray out of it. I'm like, Dad, open your dick before you pee out of it. It's like you're pissing out of the corner of a pillowcase. And my dad's had a weird life, too. When I was 10 years old, my parents got divorced. And my dad turned into a Jew. And, he converted to Judaism. He didn't turn into a Jew. It's not like my dad was like... He, converted to Judaism. And I had friends who were Jewish, and I knew that they had little clip dicks, little neat. And then I remembered my father's alligator claw of a penis. Sorry I'm being so negative. I'm a bummer. I don't know. I shouldn't be. I'm a very, lucky guy. I got a lot going for me. I'm healthy. I'm relatively young. I'm white, which thank God for that shit, boy. That is a huge leg up. Are you kidding me? Oh, God, I love being white. I really do. Seriously, if you're not white, you're missing out because this shit is thoroughly good. But let me be clear, by the way. I'm not saying that white people are better. I'm saying that being white is clearly better. Who could even argue? If it was an option, I would re-up every year. Oh, yeah, I'll take white again. Absolutely. I've been enjoying that. I'm going to stick with white. Thank you. Here's how great it is to be white. I could get in a time machine and go to any time, and it would be fucking awesome when I get there. That is exclusively a white privilege. Black people can't fuck with time machines. A black guy in a time machine is like, hey, anything before 1980? No, thank you. I don't want to go. But I can go to any time. The year 2? I don't even know what's happening then. But I know when I get there, welcome, we have a table right here for you, sir. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's lovely here in the year 2. I can go to any time. In the past, I don't want to go to the future and find out what happens to white people because we're going to pay hard for this shit. You got to know that. We're not going to just fall from number 1 to 2. They're going to hold us down and fuck us in the ass forever. And we totally deserve it. But for now, whee! Now, if you're white and you don't admit that it's great, you're an asshole. It is great. And I'm a man. How many advantages could one person have? I'm a white man. You can't even hurt my feelings. What can you really call a white man that really digs deep? Hey, cracker. Oh, ruined my day. Boy, shouldn't have called me a cracker. Bringing me back to owning land and people. What a drag. Mark Twain once said, a man who always tells the truth doesn't have to remember what he said. And that's great. But Mark Twain also said there once was a big black guy named Nick Jim. So, I don't know if 100% of the things he said were perfectly awesome. Really, Mark, Nick Jim, you're gonna go with, that's the best you could do. To name the, yeah, got kind of a nice ring to it, Nick Jim. Yeah, well, it's a little on the nose, isn't it? Could have called him Black Mike. I mean, just a little. Take it down one notch of the. Thanks for that, Mark. Anyway, so while we're in this area, now that I know you guys are cool, no. No. But. This is a story that takes place. I'm going to tell you the story. It's kind of a messy story. It takes place over a lot of years because it started with my friend Mike, who told me this story. This happened to him back in the 90s. He was going home for Christmas, and he lives in Connecticut. He grew up in Connecticut in some shitty shit town in shitty Connecticut. And he didn't like going home. He's one of those people, he came from a place, doesn't like it anymore. And he goes back, he doesn't know how to handle his family, you know? And he came from a family of white racists, and he doesn't like going home. But it's still home. So he went home for Christmas one year, and everybody's hanging out during the day, talking, having lunch. And his father and his brother both work at this factory, and his brother's grousing about his day at work. And he goes, yeah, and then this fucking fell asleep with the forklift. And then my friend Mike heard that, and he went, oh, God, why am I part of this people? I hate this. And he felt bad. And then that night, he's in the kitchen, and he's having a warm milk or whatever. And I don't know why that's funny, but what that says about him. Yeah, because he's a pussy. No. he's just sort of having some time to himself, and his cousin comes downstairs. We're staying, and his cousin, he likes his cousin. That's the one person he always felt connected with. And his cousin's like, what's wrong, man? And he says, well, geez, I come home and I hope that everything would be, normal, but then my brother says, oh, he's about the factory and this fell asleep with the forklift. And his cousin goes, oh my God, the fell asleep with the forklift? So this is the first part of the story, okay? So Mike tells me that story about how he's just not listened to by anybody in his family. And then later on, I get a job writing on a TV show for Cedric the Entertainer. Great guy. And he had a show, and he hired a writing staff, half white writers, half black writers. So at lunchtime, we talked about race. It was just, we'd have these provocative, interesting conversations, trading notes about race with the white writers and the black writers. And I told that story. I told the whole thing about the guy, and then the cousin saying, and then one of the writers, a black writer, he goes, there's nothing worse than a falling asleep at the forklift. Making it harder for the rest of us. Still, nobody's quite hearing what my friend was going through. And then, about a year later, I'm hanging out with my friend Dino. Dino's Greek. He has no dog in the race. He doesn't care either way. He's Greek. Greeks aren't white or black. He's just got a big nose and he just stands there. I told Dino the whole story. I told him about the guy, the forklift, and then the black, and then Dino says, how do you fall asleep at a forklift? Everybody has different words that offend them, different things that they hear that they get offended by. To me, the thing that offends me the most is every time that I hear the N-word. Not here, by the way. I mean the N-word. Literally, whenever a white lady on CNN with nice hair says the N-word, that's just white people getting away with saying that's all that is. They found a way to say N-word. It's bullshit, because when you say the N-word, you put the word in the listener's head. That's what saying a word is. You say the N-word and I go, oh, she means nigger. You're making me say it in my head. Why don't you fucking say it instead and take responsibility for the shitty words you want to say? Just say it. Don't hide behind the first letter like a just say nigger, you stupid cunt. I don't know. I don't care. Somebody will kick my ass. I mean, all this shit goes on in my head. I don't really I thought the word the other day. I'm going to tell you this story, and it wasn't racist. It wasn't a race even connotation. Let me tell you what happened. I went to a coffee place, and it was like a cool indie coffee. I don't like Starbucks anymore because you go there and they don't care anymore. They just press a button and some old lady's diarrhea comes out and they just give it to you. So I go to like a young people cool coffee place with like my band's playing notices on the walls, and it's called like the Howling Do whatever thing, and the dude behind the counter's got a tight t-shirt and a ponytail, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And I was like, hey, can I get a cappuccino? And he's like, yeah, right on, totally. Like, he's amazed that he could help me. Like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff right here. That's awesome. And so he starts making my coffee he works so hard. He ground the beans just for that one cup and put them in the thing and tamped them with this old thing, and you click, clack, and click, and then he took the milk and he frothed it for like an hour, and then he banged it on the counter. I don't know why, it was awesome, and he scooped it in and put a little cocoa on it, and he's like, here you go, man. And I was just blown away, and for some reason, as I left there, the thought in my head was, that made the shit out of my coffee. I don't know why. He wasn't black. That's just what was in my heart for some reason. Was that nigger made the shit out of my coffee. I don't know. Here's another kind. Moral confidence. Moral confidence. That means knowing that you would do the right thing. Knowing that you wouldn't do something wrong.
moral confidence. You can have that in your daily life because a lot of your days are the same. But what if you were in another time? Like, I would love to believe, I feel confident that I would not have had slaves. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have had any. Even if I lived in 17 whatever in Virginia and all my neighbors had slaves, I would have been like, you guys are dicks. I can say that, but it's easy to say that now because you can't get no slaves. You just can't, you can't get any. That's why you don't have slaves. It's not because you're better than back then people. It's because they're not available. That's a huge contributing factor. It's not a decision you need to make every day, like you're crying your groceries, but oh, fuck, maybe I should, I don't know, I better not, but geez, it would be easier. Because they're not there. It's not like they have slaves at Home Depot. I mean, they kind of do. But, yeah. There are some forms of kind of slavery. You can get a Russian woman to do whatever you want because her family's hostage. That's one of them. But that's still temporary. I mean, you could adopt like a 12-year-old from Bangladesh and... I mean, really, he'll move into your house and do your laundry and suck your dick, whatever you want. But even he gets to leave when he's 18. Although, who wants someone when they're that old? I'm just saying, excuse me, I'm just saying that slavery gets rebranded, but it doesn't really ever totally go away. I mean, it's been part of human history, going way back, slavery. Even the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia, I don't know if I didn't go to college, I don't know anything. But the earliest images of human life already had the guys going, ugh, and the guy going, ah, motherfucker. How early did we come up with this? Like from the beginning of human existence, we evolved, through ideas. We were a scared, naked ape, and then we were like, make a fire, it's a good idea. Kill an animal and take his fur, it's a good idea. Plant things and then wait, it's a good idea. But really quickly we came up with, just make them fucking do it. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing nothing. Make them fucking do it. That was like our third thing we did on Earth. You want to hear the other banana one now? Yeah. All right. Okay. So, I was at the grocery store, and I needed bananas. So, I go over to where the bananas are, and there's a black woman at the bananas. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, I swear. I understand. White people are very scared of discussing bananas and black people in the same conversation. I understand. If I have a black friend over, I would never offer him a banana. I don't know why, I just wouldn't do it. Hey, you want a banana? Why the fuck you asking me? Hey man, I'm sorry, have an apple. I'm really sorry. These are just the facts of the case, all right? I was in the store looking for bananas, and there was a black woman at the bananas, and I didn't want to go there while she's there because of COVID. We're all giving each other space. So but I do want to be next. So I'm waiting. And she's kind of taking a long time. And the longer she takes, the longer I am a white man watching a black woman choose bananas. And this is an awful thing about the world today because I know I'm not doing anything wrong, but I feel fucking bad. I feel fucking bad. So I went to the strawberries. And there's a fucking Jew with the strawberries.
Here's a nice one.
That's the Jew. I'm not going to do the black woman. No, I'm not. You know why? Because I'm not afraid of Jews. That's the bottom line. I'm not scared of Jews. I don't find Jews to be frightening. Unless you're in Palestine, then they're terrifying. It's very different. Over there, they're like, the Jews are killing us. And here we're like, really? The Jews? We've been slapping them around for years. Anyway. This banana's too hard. Well, this banana's soft, but I'm not gonna have it till Tuesday, so I'm gonna buy the hard one and wait. Just trying to be fair. Just trying to be fair to the Jews. Lord have mercy. Anyway, I miss it. I miss having little kids. I think about it all the time. I think about it maybe adopting, you know? I could adopt a baby from a third world country. That's a good thing to do, because you can just leave them outside. You don't have to... You know, it's interesting. We've been adopting babies from other countries in America for a long time. You know, other countries do it too, but I live here, so I'll talk about that. But it's an interesting thing. It's not a biological imperative to go get a baby from thousands of miles away, but we've been doing that in large numbers here for a long time. And not always for the same reasons. There's been different reasons why we've done it. In the early, like in the 70s when I grew up, sometimes you meet a couple who had an African baby that they brought because they're those kind of, you know, these kinds of people, you know? The kind of couples that hold hands when they announce things. You know those kind of people? They gather their friends and they're like, we've decided. You know those? They have a farm table with a clay pot of honey on it. And their apple juice is cloudy. You know what I'm talking about? Those are the kind of people that make a trip to Zimbabwe and get a baby and name him Kevin and send him to Boston College, whatever. That was like the 70s and 80s. Then in the 90s, it became very popular with gay couples started to adopt babies from China because they want to have a baby, but they can't. They both have dicks. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that? Gay couples have two dicks, so they can't make a baby. You can try. You can just really fucking. You could try to come into one dick with the other, like. If you line up the dick holes, and you can come and the sperm goes up this dick and down that one. And then the sperm gets to the balls and they're like, wait, what the fuck? Did we turn around? Because we're in the balls again. Whose balls are these? These aren't even his balls. Oh, he's gay. Fuck. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's just swim around till we're dead. It's just the way it is. You're not gonna. A baby will never come out of a penis. It's good. It's a good thing. Because it's hard for women. Imagine pushing a whole baby out of your penis dick hole. Even just a hand. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why gay couples adopt. That's why. And often from China, because they make a lot of stuff there. So that was that. That was the gay couples were adopting Chinese babies because they couldn't have babies, and then a lot of other couples started doing it more around the turn of the century. I used to live in Hollywood, which is a pretty awful place, and everybody there gets Chinese babies. It's very popular. They go and it's not because they can't have babies, and it's not because they're trying to help somebody from far away. It's because they're just busy. They're busy they want to have a baby, but they don't want to have a baby. You know what I mean? That thing where you can't have your baby and eat it too, or whatever. I don't know how that works. They don't want to get pregnant, is the point. So they go to China. They don't even go to China. They go to the airport, and somebody from China meets them, gives them a baby. It's true. They just take it home, and then they get a Jamaican nanny to watch their Chinese baby. And they go to cocktail parties. We have a Chinese baby. It's amazing. And meanwhile, the Chinese baby and the Jamaican nanny are just alone looking at each other like, what are we doing? What is it? What is this? Why can't either of us see our families? Why? What the fuck is the point of this? But I'm selfish. I would like to be a better person because I got kids. And I want to, pass on a better, but sometimes it's not clear what the right thing is to do. Like one time I threw a candy wrapper on the street. And I didn't do it like, yeah. I just, yeah, take that shit straight. I did it because I was, like shaking. I wanted the candy. Anyway, I was with a friend who said to me, you just littered on the street. Don't you care about the environment? And I thought about it and I said, you know what? This isn't the environment. This is New York City. This is not the environment. This is where people live. New York City is not the environment. New York City is a giant piece of litter. It's like the giantest, next to Mexico City, the shittiest piece of litter in the world. Just a pussy, runny, smoking, stinking piece of litter. So if you have a piece of litter, what are you supposed to do with it? You should throw it on the pile of litter. Because if you don't, if you put it in a receptacle, then it gets collected and it gets taken to a dump and a landfill, and then or it goes on a boat and it goes out and gets dumped in the ocean, and some dolphin wears it as a hat on its face for 10 years. This hat that never dissolves on its face. Oh, Jesus. I mean, everything that we introduce to the world is shitty. Meaning white people. Because I really think that white people are from like another planet. Because when we came to America, it was so nice. It was just Indians, and they weren't even Indians. We called them that by accident, and we still call them that. Like we knew in a month that it wasn't Indians, but we just don't give a shit. We never correct it. We came here, they're like, hi, and we're like, hey, you're Indians, right? And they're like, no. No, this is India, right? No, it's not. It's totally other place. You're not Indians? No. Ah, you're Indians. You're Indians for hundreds of years after. We ruined everything here. This was it was just coast to coast, just green and brown and beautiful. And all the humans were just walking around with painted faces, just walking. And they'd be like, oh, that looks yummy. And then they just eat from the ground. And then they'd sleep on the grass. And they'd wake up and they'd fuck. And then they'd go for a swim and do a little dance. That was the whole continent, was just folks doing that. I mean, there was people in Mexico cutting off kids' heads and rolling them down the pyramid stairs. But that's always going on. What are you gonna, you can't do a whole lot about that. But I think we came from another planet, and the reason is because we don't like it here. I mean, why, if we're from here, if we belong on Earth, why aren't we comfortable on Earth at all? We need nice, smooth surfaces and right angles, and we need it to be cool and not too hot, just a little, that's just perfect. Like, when it's hot, why wouldn't we just, yeah, fuck it? Why wouldn't we be like that if we belong here? And it's weird because people that aren't, whatever you call there's environmentalists, and then there's people who are whatever. They just hate environmentalists. But that's what people get angry at environmentalists, because they think they're slowing down the economy and creating restrictions. And a lot of these people are Christian. A lot of these people are very devout Christians. And that's such a confusing thing to me, that if you believe that God gave you the earth, that God created the earth for you, why would you not have to look after it? Why would you not think that when he came back, he wouldn't go, what the fuck did you do? I gave this to you, motherfucker. Are you crazy? The polar bears are brown. What did you do to the polar bears? Did you shit all over every polar bear? Who did this? Who spilled this shit? Who spilled this? Come over. Did you fucking spill this? What is that? It's oil. It's just some oil. I didn't mean to spill. Well, why did you take it out of the fucking ground? Because I wanted to go faster. I'm not fast enough. And I was cold. What the fuck do you mean cold? I gave you everything you needed, you piece of shit. Well, because jobs. What is a job? Explain to me, what's a fucking job? You work at a place, and when people call when their game doesn't work, and you help them figure it out. What do you do that for? For money. What do you need money for? Food. Just eat the shit on the floor. I left shit all over the floor. Fucking corn and wheat and shit. Grab it up, make some bread. What are you doing? Yeah, but it doesn't have like bacon around it, and like I like when it has like bacon on it and I watched somebody do that the other day after a meal. They went, oh, it was just mwah, mwah. And I started wondering, what does that mean? What does that signify? Mwah. I'll give you an example. Okay, like of course, children who have nut allergies need to be protected. Of course. We have to segregate their food from nuts, have their medication available at all times, and anybody who manufactures or serves food needs to be aware of deadly nut allergies. Of course. But maybe if touching a nut kills you, you're supposed to die. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Jesus. I have a nephew who has that. I'd be devastated if something happened to him. But maybe, if we all just do this for 1 year, we're done with nut allergies forever. No, of course not. Of course, if you're fighting for your country and you get shot or hurt, it's a terrible tragedy. Of course. Of course. But maybe if you pick up a gun and go to another country and you get shot, it's not that weird. Maybe if you get shot by the dude you were just shooting at, it's a tiny bit your fault. Of course, slavery is the worst thing that ever happened. Listen, you all clapped for dead kids with the nuts. For kids dying from nuts, you applauded. So you're in this with me now, do you understand? You don't get to cherry pick. Those kids did nothing to you. Of course, slavery is the worst thing.
that ever happened. Of course it is. Every time it's happened. Black people in America, Jews in Egypt, every time a whole race of people has been enslaved, it's a terrible, horrible thing. Of course. But maybe every incredible human achievement in history was done with slaves. Every single thing where you go, how did they build those pyramids? They just threw human death and suffering at them until they were finished. How did we traverse the nation with a railroad so quickly? We just threw Chinese people in caves and blew them up and didn't give a shit what happened to them. There's no end to what you can do when you don't give a fuck about particular people. You can do anything. That's where human greatness comes from, is that we're shitty people, that we fuck others over. Even today, how do we have this amazing microtechnology? Because the factory where they're making these, they jump off the fucking roof because it's a nightmare in there. You really have a choice. You can have candles and horses and be a little kinder to each other, or let someone suffer immeasurably far away just so you can leave a mean comment on YouTube while you're taking a shit.
You're watching Stranger Bible Comedy, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to challenge belief and liberate the mind in pursuit of truth and laughter. What Louis C.K. is doing here isn't endorsing racism, it's exposing how unstable and artificial the idea of race actually is. The discomfort is intentional. This kind of comedy isn't meant to offend you, it's meant to strip away illusions. A central point of these bits is that race isn't a fixed reality. It changes based on time, place, power, and who's doing the labeling. That alone tells you it's not biology, it's a social construct. A shortcut humans invented to explain fear, hierarchy, and historical guilt. He also undercuts moral self-congratulation. We like to believe we'd have been better people in worse eras, but many moral choices only seem obvious because history removed the alternatives. That's circumstance, not virtue. That matters because slavery was never condemned by so-called Holy Scripture. In the Jewish and Christian Bible, it was regulated and morally permitted, and, in some cases, commanded. The move away from it didn't come from divine law, but from humanism and secular moral reasoning. It came from great freethinkers willing to challenge God's supposed objective moral laws. Ultimately, this is why appeals to Scripture as a source of fixed moral truth fail under scrutiny. History shows that moral progress occurs not when people obey inherited doctrines, but when they question them. The values we now consider self-evident, including human dignity, equality, and freedom, emerged because people chose reason, empathy, and critical thinking over unquestioned authority. That willingness to challenge belief, not submit to it, is what moves societies forward. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible Comedy. Please remember to like and subscribe.